Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Nerd Den here once again, and today we're going to be looking at another Russell T Davies interview because, yeah, he's done another one with the Radio Times, which mentions about Doctor Who. It's caused a little bit of a reaction online, as they normally do these days, but I'm going to go into it. I'm going to have a look to see what he's actually said. It's regarding Doctor Who. The news isn't exactly positive surrounding Russell T Davies or Doctor Who at the moment. Mainly the two together, to be fair. So we're going to be having a look about what's actually going down with Russell T Davies and Doctor Who. There's always something to talk about there, really, especially now we're in that dry period when it comes to Doctor Who news. So, with all that being said, let's get into the video. Alright, so from the Radio Times, Doctor Who boss doesn't think the show will be considered one of his greatest hits. I love Doctor Who, but I don't own it. It is not mine. Okay, very interesting. So, Russell T Davies might have brought back Doctor Who from the dead, reviving it to once again be one of the best love shows on British TV, but he doesn't think the sci-fi will be considered among his greatest hits. Very interesting. So, the writer, who's also penned powerful series including Years and Years, Queer as Folk, and It's a Sin, thinks his other offerings, including his upcoming Channel 4 drama Tiptoe, will be the ones he'll be remembered for. Because he's described this new show, which is coming to Channel 4, as radical, savage, and hilarious. So he's hyping up that. He's obviously any writer wants to hype up their work. And he says it's the strongest thing he's ever written. He does believe that Queer as Folk, Cucumber, It's Sin, and Tiptoe are the ones that will be on his gravestone. He says if you can bring back Doctor Who, be showrunner twice, then it doesn't make your greatest hits. That's some going. Okay. Interesting, because he said that he loves Doctor Who, but he doesn't own it. It's not his. So in the end, my heart will always be with the things that I own. Which, that in itself is a very interesting statement, but we'll talk about that. So, yeah, obviously, Russell is behind bringing back Doctor Who in 2005, with bringing Christopher Eccleston as the Ninth Doctor and Billy Piper as Rose. And then he stepped back in 2010, Stephen Moffat took over, and in 2023 he returned for the 60th anniversary, and he's obviously continued to write 2 seasons with Ncuti as the Doctor. So, yeah, a very interesting one, because as noted here, he's obviously written the departure for the 15th Doctor, and fans don't know if the show's going to be commissioned for more seasons. We're just waiting on that. The show, the future is really uncertain. And he has insisted on various occasions that he doesn't know what's happening with the series just yet. And when he was asked by the big issue of what's going on, he just had a one-word answer. Behave. Okay. Let's kind of break this down a little bit. So another interesting interview. Now, I would say, personally, that I can see where Russell T Davies is coming from, because Doctor Who isn't owned by him. He didn't create Doctor Who. Yes, he brought it back and is probably one of the vital components of Doctor Who. But, yeah, it's not his creation. That was obviously, the BBC, Sidney Newman, Ferry Lambert, etc., all the people back in the 60s that were responsible for creating that classic iteration of the show that we wouldn't be talking about today if that didn't happen. So yeah, that's obviously not Russell's creation. Obviously, he's been one of the various captains of the ship. But yeah, I can completely see where he's coming from, and he wants to try and make his original work as iconic. That's the way I'm interpreting that statement. So that's not really as controversial in my opinion. But it does also seem like, he's not really attaching himself as much to Doctor Who, which I could kind of understand at the moment, because, he's focused on promoting his new stuff. And yeah, let's be completely honest, Doctor Who isn't in production right now, so why would you want to be promoting a show that's not going anywhere at the moment? So yeah, there is that. And again, I think I've said this in the past as well, like some of the interviews that Russell has done after season 2 or series 15, whatever you want to call it, it does seem like he has gone, like that he's not attached to the project whatsoever. And I do feel like if Doctor Who comes back, it will come back. Whether that's years down the line, we don't know. But I do feel like Russell won't be back as showrunner. They'll probably bring someone completely new as head writer, which they should. We need, after, this era and I think a break, we can't just resume things. We need a complete fresh start. That would probably benefit the show. And it seems like Russell is writing some great things, which, I'm sure people will watch, and I'll probably give it a go as well. But the whole Behave thing, I mean, yeah, I'm not entirely sure about the full context on that, but yeah, I just wish that we just knew what was going on with Doctor Who. But as we've already spoken about on the channel, and various people have spoken about, we won't get an answer until the Disney deal. Everything that's produced from the Disney deal, that includes the War Between Land and Sea, once all of that's out and they look at the ratings and stuff, that's when we'll get a decision. And that's why I don't think we'll know really until either late this year or early next year. Probably looking more like 2026 is when we'll get a decision on the Disney deal with Doctor Who. But yeah, I mean, I am curious still about Doctor Who's future, but we'll just have to wait and see. But it seems like Russell is busy with other stuff, which is completely fair. And I would say out of all of his recent interviews, that one seems practically like more honest and stuff, really. So fair play, and I wish him all the best with what he's got planned next. So with all that being said, thank you so much for tuning into today's video. If you are new around here, please click that like button and subscribe for more nerdy content, and I'll see you all next time. Thank you very much for supporting the channel as always, and goodbye for now.